This is Midnight Oil, all registered.
All right, it's officially 7 o'clock. Welcome to the PrepNet here on Channel 14, the Prep Channel. Before we get started, this is what we'll do. We'll get people registered. I'll take one person at a time. What I ask is your username and what state you're in. If you would like to monitor during registration, just let us know you want to monitor. We'll mark you down as so, and we will not bother you through the net. Welcome in, everybody. Can I get the first caller, please?
Hey, Red Bear, this is Gerald in Abingdon, Virginia. Call signs N4G&G. I'm just going to monitor tonight.
Big Daddy Dave, Southwest Missouri.
Copy that, Gerald. Dave, we got you as well, sir.
Candyman, just monitoring tonight.
Elvin 718. I'm a GMIS operator also. WORU 718.
Okay, everybody, one at a time. Let me clear with the last person, please. Candyman, what state are you in, sir? And I do have you marked down as monitoring.
Tonight our address is in Texas. Who knows where it'll be tomorrow?
Copy that. Thank you very much. And Melvin, what state are you in, sir? I heard you in there as well.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio.
The Buckeye State. All right, we got you down, sir. Next person who would like to register for the net, please go ahead.
Midnight Oil, Utah.
Taxman, Kyle, Texas.
All right, we got you Midnight Oil and we got you Taxman. Midnight Oil, you're in Utah. Taxman, you're in Texas. Next caller that would like to register for the net tonight, please go ahead.
TC, Louisiana.
Welcome in, TC. We got you down. Welcome in, brother. Next caller that would like to register for the net, please go ahead.
Donna in Montana.
Welcome in, Donna. I already got you down, dear. Welcome in, though. Next caller that would like to register for the net, please go ahead. All right. Before we get started, we'll do one last call to see if we have anybody else who would like to register for the net. If you're monitoring and you did not register, if you let us know that you would like to monitor only, we will not bother you. If we have anybody else that would like to register for the net tonight, please go ahead. Okay, well, we'll want to welcome everybody in. And Jim, if you are ready, sir, we'll go ahead and pass the mic over to you.
Okay, Red Bear, and everybody else out there, thank you for checking in and listening. And I'm as ready as I'll ever be. And so we're going to continue with our great topic of sanitation. And this is part 3 of part 4. So let's get started with the rest of the sanitation issues that affect health and survival. Hand washing is one of the most important disease prevention tools. In any emergencies, hand hygiene becomes more important than ever. Critical times for hand washing are after toilet use, before food preparation, before eating, after handling trash, after caring for sick individuals, and after handling animals. The basic hand washing requires, and you all know this, water, soap, scrubbing, and drying. Now, alcohol-based sanitizers can help, but soap and water remain important, especially when hands are visibly dirty. Right? A simple hand washing station can be improvised. Examples include water jugs with spigots, camping sinks, gravity-fed containers, food pump sinks, and tippy tap system, which I had never heard of. A basic tippy tap uses a suspended water container, a foot-operated string, and small controlled water flow. The advantages are conserves water, reduces contamination, and is very low tech. These systems are commonly used worldwide in areas without running water. And we do have a full water series on for your water usage on our YouTube channel. Right. Now, preparedness soap options include bar soap, liquid soap, dish soap, homemade soap, and laundry soap. Bar soap often stores well long term. Soap should be stored in multiple locations. Remember, clean hands saves lives. And for those who don't know, we previously had a guest presenter discuss making your own tallow soap, which actually encouraged me to do so. I'm very impressed. Homemade soap can become especially valuable during long-term emergencies when normal store supplies may be unavailable or expensive. To listen to that net, check out the link in the video description. Break. Now, poor personal hygiene can quickly damage morale and health. Important hygiene areas include bathing, oral hygiene, foot care, hair care, skin care, and nail care. Even limited hygiene routines can greatly improve comfort and disease prevention. Bathing options may include sponge baths, solar shower bags, heated washcloth cleaning, camp showers, bucket bathing, and portable propane showers. Even a small amount of warm water can dramatically improve morale. Great. What's often overlooked, infants dramatically increase sanitation demand. Preparedness planning may include disposable diapers, cloth diapers, wipes, rash cream, diaper pails, and laundry capability. Dirty clothing and bedding can spread disease. Laundry options include hand washing washboards, 5-gallon bucket washers, plunger-style agitators, portable manual washing machine, or creek and river washing. Now, important note here, natural water resources should not be contaminated with soap or human waste. Break. Laundry priorities often include underwear, socks, towels, baby clothing, and bedding. Clean socks alone can significantly improve morale and foot health. Those who've been in the military really understand this. Food contamination can cause severe illness. Kitchen sanitation priorities include clean dishes, clean utensils, safe food storage, proper waste disposal, and hand washing. A common field dishwashing method uses 3 containers: water, rinse water, and a sanitizing rinse. Bleach is sometimes used carefully for sanitizing. Break. Gray water is wastewater from washing, laundry, bathing, and cleaning dishes. Gray water is also a good source of water for bucket flushing toilets during emergencies, and we talked about that in our prior sanitation topics. Avoid putting large amounts of bleach-contaminated gray water into septic tanks as it can disrupt the beneficial bacteria inside the tank. Some gray water can also be used to irrigate landscaping and trees, but it's generally best to avoid using it directly in food gardens, especially if soaps or detergents are present. Great. Gray water can become hazardous if allowed to stagnate. Problems include mosquito breeding, odor, mold, slippery surfaces, and bacterial growth. Gray water should generally not contaminate drinking water sources. However, keep gray water drainage areas well away from wells, springs, streams, lakes, rain catchment systems, and any stored emergency drinking water. Even small amounts of contamination can spread disease, especially during emergencies when medical care may not be limited. Standing gray water can also attract insects and create foul odors, so proper drainage and disposal are important parts of sanitation planning. Great. Next week, we'll continue our discussion with the rest of the sanitation issues that affect health and survival. And I know this is not a pleasant topic. It is usually not talked about, but it is also one of the most often forgotten things that will bite you in the rear if there is a problem where you have to survive on your own. Watch the expanded presentation on our YouTube channel for a better understanding and more information on this topic at youtube.com/@prepnet-talk2me. And remember to check the video description for any additional links to more information. Now, if you have any questions about what we have discussed here or anything about prepping, please ask during the roundtable or send your question to prepnetch14@gmail.com and enter question in the subject line. Break, and one more thing. I hope most out there are getting something out of these presentations and are viewing our expanded presentations we post on our YouTube channel, even if you attended the radio net. As we have stated before, and we call this beating the dead horse, there is more information in the expanded presentation than is presented here. I will again suggest you check out our YouTube channel, and you never know if any new features will be added, so go to youtube.com/@prepnet-talk2me. That's the @prepnet-talk2me, and browse around. There are over 120 videos posted there, including recordings of these radio nets. And thank you for listening, guys. Back to net control.
Copy. Thank you very much, Jim. Got quite a few notes tonight as well. So I'm kind of enjoying this sanitation. There's a lot of things that people don't think about in this, even though I do agree it could potentially be a embarrassing topic, but it is something we do definitely need to look at. So thank you. I'm going to give a short break here. All right, guys, we're going to move down our list here that we've got started, everybody that registered, and we'll get talking to everybody. But before we do that, do we have anybody else that would like to register for the net? If so, please go ahead. Okay, all right. We're going to start with Donna in Montana. Hey, Donna, what do you think about part 3 of sanitation tonight?
I think it's a very, very important subject, and I just wanted to say that I remember once when I was a kid that we had to wash our clothes in the bathtub with one of those boards. And it wasn't fun, but it is actually very effective.
You know, I sometimes wonder if that actually gets your clothes cleaner than the newer washers that we have nowadays. So, I don't know. I'd like to think so. I myself have experienced one of those washboards in the past. So, but hey, Donna, how's things been going this week for you?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Battling the winds down at the craft fair, that has not been fun.
We've been kind of lucky here. We haven't had a whole lot of high winds lately, so that's been kind of nice. That's been kind of nice. But thank you very much for checking in tonight, Donna. We're gonna keep moving down our list here. So we got Big Daddy Dave. Hey, Dave, what do you think about Part 3 sanitation? One more try for Big Daddy Dave in Missouri. Big Daddy Dave, you still with us? All right, we'll come back to you, Dave. We'll check back in with you here in a little bit. Move on down the list here. Melvin in Ohio. Melvin, welcome in. This is the first time you've been to the net. Do you have any questions or comments on sanitation part 3 here?
I think that sanitation is important, even sanitation, the sanitizers, and I would also say water purification.
Yeah, water purification is a big thing. So definitely, I gotta agree with you. You want clean water to be able to keep everything clean, but also clean water to drink. So definitely, definitely. So, how's the last week been for you, Melvin? We had 4th of July there. Anything big happen?
No, nothing but a normal holiday. You know, the barbecue, relatives. You know how it is.
Yeah, but you said barbecue, so yep, I hear that. I hear that. Well, Melvin, thanks for stopping into the net here. We're going to keep moving down the list. We got Midnight Oil in Utah. Welcome in, Midnight Oil. Another first-time caller to the Prep Net here. What do you think about tonight's topic, sir?
I think it's a great thing to be talking about and learn new things about sanitation. Thank you.
Copy that. Copy that. So how was your last week, Midnight Oil?
It was great. Had a good week.
Copy that. Copy that. Now remember, come back next Sunday night and check us out again for part 4 of sanitation. We're going to keep moving on the list. We got Taxman in Texas there. Hey, Taxman, what did you think about tonight's net and sanitation part 3 here?
Well, I'm going to go back and listen to the others and do that. And let's see. There's a few things that I'm sure you've all talked about somewhere down the line, but is but probably not the time to ask you about it now.
Oh, no, go right ahead, Taxman. The floor is yours right now. Go ahead and ask your question, sir.
Well, my problem is that I've noticed that when hurricane hit Houston and stuff like that, a lot of these nursing homes, you know, they took a big hit. And what's going to happen to these people? I mean, and on top of that, I'm totally blind myself, and I noticed that you ain't gonna get no help.
Jim, do you want to go ahead and take this one, sir?
Yeah, sure do, because it actually fits into our previous topic. which was all about water. And Melvin, this will hit, and Taxman, you too. We had a multi-part series, and I can't remember where it was 2 or 4 parts, about water. And it covered, storing water, where you can get water, all the various sanitation methods. One of the things on there was a little thing that will convert salt to chlorine purification chemicals. It's not very expensive, works really well. I have an older type version of it that I've used, and that when you're talking about the rest homes and such, and you get flooding, having something like that, and this thing is like smaller than a cell phone, or smaller than one of these radios that we're talking on, and really a super cool thing to have, and it costs almost nothing to operate. So I would suggest go and watch those videos, which will get you. Let me break here real quick so I don't time this thing out. Go to the YouTube channel, and if you have the time, these videos are not long. They're 6 to maybe 10 minutes each. And get caught up, because we literally started. The first one was, what's the first thing you do to prep? And we've worked our way up to these various things. We have a very long 21-part thing on electricity, which you may or may not be interested in. But I would really encourage you to go do that. But yes, you're absolutely. We have talked about this in our All About Water series, and hopefully we covered anything. Go look at those things, and if we haven't, either send an email to our email deal and say, hey, you didn't cover this, or when you're back here on the net, bring it up. And you can bring up anything on the net here. It doesn't have to be specifically for what our target topic was. Anyway, back to net control.
Thanks a lot, Jim. I'm just kind of looking through all my logs here, because when I register people, I literally handwrite everything along with my notes. Yeah, we've been doing this for over a year now. Congratulations, sir. This actually started, it was a year ago last month. So, Taxman, did that answer your questions?
Well, not so much, because I'm wondering if the FEMA and everybody else was down here in Houston, and the what happened is that there was a food truck sponsored by somebody that just came in with a food truck and started delivering food to people, and FEMA run them off. And so they got the mayor involved and everything else, and they wouldn't let these people come in and deliver their food. So, and what's going to happen to these people in nursing homes? What's going to happen to handicapped people if things happen that way? And especially, no power, no water, and all of those things, people are going to die.
I'll go ahead and take that, Red Bear, if that's okay. You're right. And one of the things we sort of stress here is do not rely on anybody. I'm sorry to be crass about it. I've been doing this for an extremely long time, and we're prepared to do whatever for extended periods and not rely on anybody, because we can't count on them. I originally come from California, and they said you need to have 3 days of water, food, etc. Well, they still say that. Well, it's garbage. 3 days is nothing. And as you know, Taxman, you're talking about the hurricanes down there, and I know when they had the big one in New Orleans, I mean, people weren't getting help for 1 or 2 weeks. So you cannot rely on not only the government, but as you pointed out, you can't rely on other people, even though they may come the government may stick their nose into it. So what I would suggest, let me break here because I babble on. What I would suggest, like in the case of nursing homes, etc., is if you are able or your group is able and you're near, maybe you should go talk to them and say, okay, guys, what's your plan? We can provide this, and list the things and just do it. The heck with the government. They're going to get in your way. And what is it? Ronald Reagan, I think, said the 10 or 11 most horrible words were, hi, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. Yeah, well, I got news for you. That's not necessarily going to work out for you. So I wish I had an actual real answer, but I don't, because it's something that we can't control. And let me break one more time, if you don't mind, guys. We also push here, every one of us has to determine what you need to do to prepare for your situation. Just to let you know, I'm on the Continental Divide in the Rocky Mountains at 6,000 feet. I do not prepare for a flood. If there's a flood where I'm at, my particular location, I've got beachfront property, and there's a whole bunch of other problems that are going to be, in my way than the fact that, oh, I don't want water to get into my basement. So we all have different things we need to plan for. We're trying to bring up as many possibilities as possible so you can turn around and pick the ones that actually work for you. So, Taxman, again, I'm going to beat the dead horse and go back to the YouTube channel and literally start these things from the beginning, because maybe something that's said there will trigger something that can turn around and actually give you the answer that you want. I'll throw it back to Red Bear.
Thanks a lot, Jim. We're going to throw it back to Taxman real quick and see if he has any other comments or questions. So, Taxman, please go ahead, sir.
Well, thank you all. I appreciate your trying to answer the question, but I just wonder what there's going to be a lot of handicapped people that just that can't prepare like that, and that's the bad part, is that there are a lot of people out there that are going to live in apartment buildings and stuff like that. They're not going to have all of that stuff, and so and a lot of these people are living by themselves. So it's bad. Anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate you being there, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks a lot, Taxman. We're definitely glad to have you here as well. So if you have any questions or comments next week, we'll be glad to listen to you for sure, sir. Thank you very much for joining the net tonight. Want to check real quick? Do we have anybody else that would like to register for the net? If so, please go ahead.
This is Troubadour, KJ5KUI if you want that. And I'm a good friend of the Taxman. He's got me to rely on if he needs help. He already knows that.
Copy that, Troubadour. Are you in Texas as well, sir?
Yes, I live in Pflugerville, Texas. That's about 10 miles north of Austin. He's about 20 to 30 miles south, so we're about 40 miles apart.
Copy that. Well, welcome into the net. We're definitely glad to have you here, sir. Do we have anybody else that would like to register for the net at this time? Please go ahead. Okay, well then we're going to move on down to TC in South Louisiana. Hey, TC, do you have any questions or comments about Sanitation Part 3?
Well, before I get into the comment, I'd like to reply to what Taxman Montana Jim were talking about. When it comes down to saving people, you can save as many as you can. But if people want help, they need to do things we're doing, like get started, because there are stories of people waiting until the last minute and then, oh, who's gonna save me? Well, some people are busy saving themselves, you know. So it's not only survival of the fittest, but survival of the smartest, if you know what I'm talking about. And now, secondly, Montana Jim brought up the soap. So some people that weren't listening to my guest presentation about the tallow soap, it doesn't really necessarily, according to research, let me break. It doesn't necessarily give you better, what's the word I'm looking for? Like hygiene support. But as far as skin care, like if you're prone to eczema or any kind of skin disease, if you have the option, go with tallow soap, because it's just better. And commercial soaps you buy at the store, it breaks up your natural tissues in your skin, and it's just not as good for you. So if you have the option, stock up on some tallow soap. But yep, it was a good topic. Sanitation needs to be talked about more. Back to you, Net Control.
Thanks a lot, TC. Really appreciate it. And just for the newcomers to the net, TC here did do the tallow soap presentation that Montana Jim was talking about, and we're very proud to have TC as part of our Talk to Me community, as well as our prepper community here. He's only 12 years old, guys, so we're very happy to have him here. So thanks again, TC. Real quick, how's your last week been going, sir?
Well, it's been raining. For the 4th of July, we watched some $100 bills explode in the air, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's been pretty same old. The weather's been ugly on most days. It's just been kind of rainy. But other than that, it's all good. Everybody's fine.
See that? Montana Jim's talking about not having to worry about floods, and of course TC still getting rained on. Man. Well, thanks for joining the net tonight, TC. Always a pleasure, sir. We're going to move on down to Troubadour in Texas. Troubadour, you made a late call. Were you here for the whole net? Did you catch everything, sir? One more try. Troubadour, are you still with us, sir? All right, we'll come back, check on you again. We're going to give one more shout for Big Daddy Dave in Missouri. Hey, Big Daddy Dave, you back with us? Okay. Hey, Jim, we're going to throw it back to you. See if you have any further comments tonight once I learn how to talk again. Back to you, Jim.
Okay, Red Bear. Good net tonight. Good discussions. I wanted to address TC's thing. One, yeah, the tallow soap does not sanitize. Unless you have a sanitizing soap, most bar soaps, which are the ones that are going to last long, have good storage life, don't sanitize. But remember, back in the Civil War, they found that a lot of the infections during the operations were due to that one person would get put on the table, the doctor to operate, and call in the next one, and they wouldn't wash their hands. And they literally found out that washing their hands with soap and water, they didn't have disinfectants. It was just soap. Sometimes it was just water. Made a dramatic change in the amount of infections. So even though tallow soap might not sanitize, it still is a very, very useful thing, and I can attest to it's actually great for the skin. Let me break. And I will agree with TC. We'd like to save everybody, but we can't. And actually, in one of our nets, we talked about there are people that will prepare. There are people that will say the government is going to help me. There are people that will say, well, that guy over there prepares. He'll take care of me. And as one of my neighbors has stated, he's not going to prepare because he's just going to come and take what he wants. And I got news for him. That ain't going to work. That's not going to come out very well. But so help those who want to help themselves. Those who can't, try and get in contact with them. If you have an elderly neighbor or a disabled neighbor, strike up a conversation and, just ask, do they have anybody that could come help them out in an emergency and, get a feel, would they be willing to accept some help and such. But anyway, I think that's about it. Let me throw her back to net control. And again, thanks guys for the talking during the thing. It really helps. We all have something to add, and we can all pick up something from everybody else. That's what the whole point of this thing is. Back to Red Bear.
Thanks a lot, Jim, and I'm going to back that up too. I'm going to agree with you. These conversations and asking questions and making statements during this net, this is all how we learn together. So I definitely agree. And Taxman, if you're still there, thank you for the conversation tonight. Really enjoyed that. Unfortunately, you do have a good point. Myself, I work at a youth center here in Michigan, and I know that youth center. I work in the kitchen. We do have several days worth of food stocked for the children that we take care, that we house there. We also have generators, things of that nature to help out. We have propane stored all through the location, so we do have propane for our heating purposes and whatnot. So that's something that places like that should really have for the youth, the elderly, or the sick, things like that. They should have backup supplies, backup power, things of that nature. But sometimes they just don't have adequate resources. Let me break real quick. So yes, but Jim, thank you very much for tonight's topic. Really appreciated it. I just want to check, do we have any announcements tonight? If so, please go ahead. Well, when my radio wants to key up again here, I'll make a fast announcement. Tomorrow night on Channel 6, the Ham and GMRS channel, I will be holding another net. That will be the Radio Shed net, live from the Bear Cave. That will be at 7 p.m. as well, so please come check that one out. Let me break one more time here. Okay, guys, for everybody that registered, including those who registered monitoring only, me and Montana Jim would like to thank all of you for registering. And hopefully y'all come back next Sunday. It'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern again. Same time, same channel. Thank you again, and 73 to everybody who joined the net tonight. At this time, we're going to go ahead and turn the channel back over to regular operations. Everybody have a good rest of your weekend here and a good start to your week.
Red Bear, I just want to thank you guys for doing this net. It's very informative, and I think it's a good net. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for doing it.
Copy that, Gerald. Thanks for joining. We really appreciate you being here tonight, sir.
Yep. Thank you guys. And hey, Montana Jim, I need you to write a book for me. If I ever have to live in California for any reason, I need you to write a book and title it "How to Survive Off of 3 Days Worth of Food, California Edition."
Yeah, and the answer to that is don't go there. That's why I left.
The end.
I spent a month in California at a Schneider drop lot. That was fun. They actually had a really good facility there, right next to the beach and everything.
Yep. I'm not disappointed to say that I've never been to California. I don't plan on going there anytime soon.
I've drove semi down your neck of the woods too, TC. I've been all over the U.S.
I've been every.
Sorry, Taxman. What was that?
The old Hank Snow song, I've been everywhere.
Yup.
So what are you doing for backup power? Are you got a battery system and stuff like that in place?
I'll go ahead and take that one. Again, we're all different. I have a lot of things. Generators, which have very specific uses, and I have a fairly large solar system that has a very specific use. So I don't know if that answers your question or how deep you want to get into that, because, like I said, we had one of our topics was all about electricity, and it ended up going 21 nets because I got into it, and there was just so much about backup power, where to get it from, the good, the bad, and the ugly, that it just kept expanding. And then I decided, well, let's go ahead and get somewhat detailed about solar. And so I sort of used my solar system as the baseline for explaining things people need to know before they spend a whole bunch of money and go buy solar.
21 nets, that's 21 weeks.
Yes. And they're all on YouTube. Yes, they are. And they have additional information than what was actually presented during the thing, because it's not just audio. There's visuals, and there's additional information, and a lot of them there in the video description. There are links to a lot of the stuff that we discuss, which you couldn't tell somebody a link over the radio, especially the way some of the links are. So that's why I keep encouraging, go to the YouTube channel and start watching these things, because you might find a piece of useful information, or you might just chuckle and go, "What an idiot!" But that's all right.
Well, guys, I tell you that if you have a lot of pictures and a whole bunch of other stuff, like I say, I'm a totally blind person, and I'm critical about videos, because if they don't have any information I can get anything out of, it's not worth watching.
Well, you will definitely get all of the audio on them, plus additional audio that we didn't do it because we wanted to keep each one of these presentations on the topic fairly short, and so I didn't want to sit here and yippee yap for 15, 20 minutes kind of thing. So, like I said, there's additional information all of it will have audio attached to it. So you might still be able to get some information. And some of the stuff will have fairly large print title slides up there. So you might still be able to get some useful information out of it.
Hey, Jim, what is that YouTube channel?
Okay, YouTube channel is. You can directly go to it by typing youtube.com/prepnet-talk2me, just like it is on your radio, with the 2 being the number. Or you can just go to YouTube and up in the search thing put @prepnet-talk2me, and that will take you to our YouTube channel. We have 2 playlists. One is the expanded presentations, and one are the net videos. Fact is, I'm still recording this one. I put the recording of the full net, including the roundtable on. So if you happen to miss something, you can always go back and listen to not only the presentation as was given, but you can hear the full roundtable too. So did you get that one down, or you need me to repeat it again?
No, I got it. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
No problem. Hope there's some useful information there for you.
Montana Jim, what's things been like your way?
Well, we were 93 today, which is extremely warm for us up here. But right now I'm looking out the window, and it's full cloudy, so we're probably getting a thunderstorm come through. And there's still a little bit of snow up on the far mountains outside the window.
Extremely hot where you live. So you're in Montana?
Yeah. So 90 degrees is very warm. 40 degrees outside no, it wouldn't be 40 degrees in the middle of winter, but 40 degrees outside is shirt sleeve weather. -10 with no wind during the winter time is go outside and do your stuff.
Yeah, you see, like off the top of my head, I always think of Montana with temperatures of like Texas or Nevada or New Mexico, which I know all my states and where they're all at, but I just think of deserts. Now tell me, are there deserts in Montana? Because when I think about it for 5 seconds, yeah. Montana's as north as Minnesota and Michigan and New York, and they all get very cold. So Montana's got to get cold too. But are there any deserts over there?
Not deserts in the way you think, not like Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, like that. But where I'm at is considered high desert, even though it's surrounded by mountains and forests and such. Is still considered high desert, mainly for the fact that our humidity. If we get over 30 to 40% humidity, we can literally feel it, because we're used to humidity that is way, way, way lower than that. And a lot of times during the summer, we get red flag warnings, and we get humidity down in literally the single digits. So it's, it's your perspective. That's why if I came down to where you're at, I would instantly, be able to detect the humidity and probably want to curl up in a corner and go to sleep.
Well, we hit 100 3 days in a row now, so hey, it's working.
Yeah, I guess pretty humid over here.
Yeah, man. It's been probably 5 or 6 years since we went double digits here. So It's unusual. And of course, the higher you go, the lower the temperature. So like I said, I'm at 6,000 feet. So I'm cooler just literally because I'm 6,000 feet above probably, the guys in Texas and Louisiana and Georgia and such, and unless you happen to be in a mountainous area. So that's what sort of keeps us nice and cool. And as I said before, I can put on more than I can take off. So, and I can throw another log on the fire during the winter. So I don't mind the cold.
Yeah. I'm not sure what my sea level is. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna check right now, but I know it's not 6,000.
I could probably guarantee you're probably 500 feet or less, unless you happen to be up, in a hilly area. So yeah, you're probably you're definitely not 6,000.
It's 96 degrees here, and the humidity is 82%.
Yeah, that would about kill me. And so, like I say, I'll put up with the cold. And it can get cold. I mean, it can get cold up to here where it's just like your 105 degrees can be deadly to some people. When we get below zero and we hit -10 and going even lower, -20, -25, it's downright dangerous. You have to cover your face to breathe. You cannot have your face uncovered and take a deep breath. You'll damage your lungs. But as long as you know that, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, Montana Jim, I just checked.